Hello, my name is Maya Zalbidea. I'm going to give a conference entitled A Semiotic Analysis of Rupi Kaur's Ecofeminist Poetry for Congreso Litera. Rupi Kaur's sister poetry is about trauma and healing. She's a very young poet and she comes from Sikh tradition. She said that was important for her identity, the family values. And she became even more famous when she published a photograph menstruating that her sister took, and Instagram censored the image. And she answered, "I bleed each month to help make humankind a possibility. My womb is home to the divine, a source of life for our species, whether I choose to create or not. But very few times it is seen that way. In older civilizations, this blood was considered holy." It is true. In ancient civilizations, for example, in India, women used ceremonies with blood to celebrate life. And this is something that I connect to ecofeminism. Rupi Kaur's poetry has to be analyzed paying attention to text and image too. I'm going to do a semiotic analysis of her poems. For instance, in this previous one, what is stronger than a human heart which shatters over and over and still lives? Here, the image is important because this image of a heart with flowers shows how in nature everything is connected, and the author herself is trying to find her roots and to feel with her roots, to feel connected to her identity and her ancestress, to be happy. And she admires the power of the heart to resist. In the second poem, it was as though someone had slid ice cubes down the back of my shirt, the orgasm. Here, there is a comparison between an orgasm and ice cubes, and the drawings are important in the poem. This drawing provides more meaning to the poem, provides a different experience to the reader, because the reader can feel the ice cubes because of the image. Also, Sylvia Plath, another confessional poet, previous to Rupi Kaur, she also used drawings as a way to express feelings also. Rupi Kaur's poetry is similar to confessional poets. I connect her to confessional American poets Robert Lowell, Adrienne Rich, Sylvia Plath, and Anne Sexton. Especially Adrienne Rich, Sylvia Plath, and Anne Sexton wrote about death, sexuality, feminism, and also Rupi Kaur does it. And Rupi Kaur provides images in very short poems, which makes present-day reader to understand messages very fast in her instant poetry. Another poem, "Don't mistake salt for sugar. If he wants to be with you, he will. It's that simple." Here, Rupi Kaur is warning young women not to trust in toxic relationships. And for example, here we have an image of a woman hugging herself, showing the importance of self-esteem and therapy. So I compare Rupi Kaur poems with Ecofeminist theory by Monica Sjöö and Barbara Moore, and Vandana, Shiva, and Maria Mies Ecofeminism, as you will see later. Let's start with first poetry book, Milk and Honey. It starts with the haunting. "He was supposed to be the first male love of your life. You still search for him everywhere." Here we find the young girl who is always trying to find her father who abandoned her. "You were so afraid of my voice, I decided to be afraid of it too." Why the use of small letters in every poem? Probably it is a way to show that the poetess doesn't want any kind of hierarchy. Every letter has the same importance, and also lack of punctuation, so that the reader needs to find the punctuation, needs to find the pauses, okay? Also, the way poems are written, the way poems appear in her books with the drawings, they make them look like a notebook, somebody notebook who keeps in a drawer and you find the secret notebook of somebody, the secret poetry book. This gives poems a very close experience for the reader, because the reader feels like when you find a Rupi Kaur's book, for example, in a bookshop, you got the experience that you have found somebody else's poems, and they are still in process, and this is why they are so short, and they are accompanied by drawings, because the poetess is trying to express herself as a child could do, because a child, for example, can draw before learning to write. So Rupi Kaur is trying to connect with her inner self, with her childhood memories, to write about her traumatic experiences. Here we find that the voice of the woman is censored because of rape, because of not being allowed to speak in her family. Here in this poem we can find how women are considered objects for some men in our society. She writes about rape, always trying to transport a therapeutical method. And then here, let's pay attention to this image of the bottle, in which the bottle looks like a man's penis. And here we can find the connection between the sexual abuse of her father and his alcoholism. In the loving, we find how Rupi Kaur admires woman's body because of having the possibility of giving birth. In the healing, Rupi Kaur expresses how important it is therapy and meditating to find self-esteem. She's sending the message to readers: sisterhood is really important for improving the whole world. And how also in this image she uses a tree. We have seen a heart with flowers before. Now we see a woman which is like a tree. So she connects nature with women in a very ecofeminist way. We find the goddess self in Rupi Kaur's poetry, in the sun and her flowers. This is important because here she admires the life of flowers. And in this poem, upon my birth, my mother said, there is God in you. Do you feel her dancing? Here, she uses her for God, meaning that God is a woman, God is female. It is an idea supported in The Great Cosmic Mother by Monica Sjöö and Barbara Moore. In this book, they express that at the beginning, in ancient civilizations, God was female. In Homebody, Rupi Kaur, with this poem, I'm going to read it. I am waking up to my God self. Here we find that she's starting to find her God self, and we can see two different woman's body, and one is connected with the universe, and this circle is the circle of life, which is connected to the woman's womb. It is connected to her vagina, to the beginning and end of life. I fell from my mouth of my mother's legs into the palms of this world, with God herself raging in me. Here she expresses that the goddess in her is angry because she knows that she's going to find a world that is going to consider women inferior. Here we find a woman's body inside of a flower, showing how a baby is inside of a mother's womb. And also, she is meditating, she is waiting to be born like a baby, showing how she comes to the world, how nature is connected to woman's body again. Here in this poem, we've ruined our only home for convenience and profit, neither of which will be useful once the earth can't breathe. Here, she's denouncing pollution and how if we don't respect the earth, if we don't respect the world, if we don't save the planet, we don't save people, we destroy nature, animal, plants, we cannot breathe anymore. And the earth is represented as a face crying. Also, in Monica Sjöö and Barbara Moore's book, The Great Cosmic Mother, they compare the earth with the mother, the goddess Earth, the Great Mother Earth, as somebody who makes possible our breathing, and that she breathes in and out, and that she is the responsible of our life and our death. Here in this poem, it is a blessing to be the color of earth. Do you know how often flowers confuse me for home? Here she's celebrating having brown skin, being tanned, and her nature. And as we can see, we can find ecofeminism in Rupi Kaur's poetry. In Vandana, Shiva and Maria Mies' ecofeminism, they express the system emerged is built upon and maintains itself through the colonization of women, of foreign peoples and their lands, and of nature, which is gradually destroying. As feminists actively seeking women's liberation from male domination, we could not, however, ignore the fact that modernization and development processes and progress were responsible for the degradation of the natural world. We saw that the impact on women of ecological disasters and deterioration was harder than on men, and also that everywhere women were the first to protest against environmental destruction. This is why the fight for preserving the earth is something that has to be everybody, not only women. Women are more aware of it, and this is why it is important that the economic system protects the earth, and that the economic system, that the women can be in important places in the economic system, so that they can change the world and improve and protect nature. In The Great Cosmic Mother by Barbara Moore and Monica Sjöö, they express the idea of the Great Cosmic Mother, the goddesses, because Venus's figures were found from Upper Paleolithic, and the Great Cosmic Mother is considered for them to be all the goddesses that have existed in different civilizations. And the beginning of the world comes from the sea, which is like a womb. They use different theories from bibliography, from many books, like for instance Marija Dimbuta's, Robert Graves, etc. Here we find an image from the Great Cosmic Mother book. This is from Monica Sjöö, and here we have God giving birth, and here God is a woman giving birth, which is the same idea that we have seen that Rupi Kaur supports in her poetry, giving importance to woman's possibility of giving birth, considering them like a goddess because of creating the world, because of being able to create life. Not only men are able to create life, but also women, and they are essential, therefore, for life. And this is the bibliography of my research. And if you have any questions or comments, you can write me an email. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Take care.